Hi everyone, I'm Jenna, and today I'm going to share with you a video that I should have filmed a couple months ago at the end of April / beginning of May. And you can already tell from the title of the video, it is my OWL's Magical Readathon video where I tell you how I did the last week of April, week 4, and then tell you how I did for the entire month of April for the OWL's Magical Readathon. Now, the reason that I didn't film really anything the last week and then proceeded to not film anything until now is because, one, I think I was burnt out on filming because I was filming a ton during April, and that's more than I normally film, so I think I just got burnt out by that. And also, the book I was reading was really, really good, so when I was reading it, I was absorbed in the book and forgot to sort of take time and sort of pause from the book for a little bit to actually film updates for you guys. So there's that. And yeah, I want to film this video now before the newts happen in August. So that's why I'm doing that now. So without further ado, let's go back to past Jenna so you can hear my initial thoughts on the book that I started reading the beginning of the 4th week of April. Now come back here and I'll tell you how I did the rest of the week. Alright, see you shortly. Now if you saw my last update, which was week 3, you'll know at the end of it that I talked about the book that I was going to be listening to. And that book is The Lovely Wars by Julie Berry. And I have to say that I am really, really loving this book. It is narrated by Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and that is just really cool. At the beginning of this book, we have Aphrodite cheating on her husband with his other god, and her husband finds out about it and catches them in the act. And so her husband decides that he's gonna hold this trial. And long story short, because of this, Aphrodite confesses to her husband that she doesn't love him, and also she doesn't love the person that she's cheating on him with. And that's because she's incapable of love. And then through this, she ends up supplying evidence of these 2 love stories that she helped kind of, I guess, foster into existence. And both of them surround this world war. And I'm in the first story at the moment, and I'm really loving it. The story between James and Hazel. Their story is just so freaking cute and so adorable that I can't even stand it. And I hope that it works out in the end. And yeah, I'm just loving this story so much. And I applaud Julia Berry for having this god element to it. So I think I will read more when I go and get ready for the day. And then if anything interesting happens in the story, I will let you guys know. Hi everyone, it's day 24 and I'm continuing listening to Lovely Wars, and I got to this point where jazz music is introduced and it's done in a really cool way, which I thought I'd share with you. So we have this black musician who is trying to write music in a cool new way, and in the background there is jazz music playing that mimics what he's thinking, and I just found it to be really cool. We just saw was the first 2 days of the 4th week, and as you can see, I didn't read much, and I continued reading Lovely Wars for the next 3 days. Well, technically only 2 days, because the 3rd day of the 4th week I didn't read anything, and that day was the 26th. But on the 27th, I managed to read 98 pages. And then on day 28, I read the remaining 90 pages of Lovely Wars to finish it. And Lovely Wars goes towards the class of arithmetic, where you need to read a book that is in a genre that you don't typically read much of. And historical fiction is not what I typically read, so this worked. And this is an extra credit class that I took and doesn't go towards my career as graphic designer. And later that day at night, I read a poetry collection called Helium, and that goes towards astronomy, where you need to read a book only at night. And I read that in one sitting on the 28th and managed to get it done. And I have to say, it was a really good poetry collection. And for the 29th, I read absolutely nothing. And then the last day of the Readathon, I read a portion of Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. And I got to the first section of their term. And I loved it. And to you tell, I did not finish this book in the last day of the Readathon, but didn't even get a good portion of it read. But unfortunately, it doesn't go towards any of the classes. But I did manage to read more than I ever thought I would for the entire month for this Readathon, and I'm happy with that because I read all the books I needed to read for my OWLs for graphic design, and I needed to read 4 books for 4 classes. And the first class was Ancient Ruins, where you needed a book with a heart on the cover or in the title, and I read the entirety of Inkheart by Cornelia Funke for that. Then the second class is Charms, which is based on Lumos Maximus. You need to read a book with a mainly white cover, and for this I read the entirety of Imposters by Scott Westerfeld. Then we have History of Magic, where you need to read a book that centers around witches or wizards, and for this I read the entirety of Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and this features magical magicians, which can actually do magic, not are kind of temporary magicians. And I read the entirety of this for that. And lastly, for graphic design, I needed to read a book for Transfigurations, where I needed a book or series that features shape shifting. And for this, I went with Minky Falls 1, which is set in spring by Mark Sorelli, and this features shape shifting, and I managed to finish this Readathon. Then, as said in my TBR video, I was going to participate in a extra credit course, and I want to do the one all about dragon tamer training, and that one needed to read a book that features dragons. And I chose Aragon by Christopher Paolini to finish this book earlier in the month, which I wasn't thinking I was going to get all 5 of those books read before the end of the month, but I did. And because of that, I decided that I was going to read books that fit the other classes, and they'd just be for extra credit. And I managed to read some more books. I managed to read Lovely Wars, Helium, which is a poetry collection, and Because of Winn-Dixie. And I am really happy about that because I managed to read 8 books that month, which just blows my mind, and I'm just super happy that I got to all the books I wanted to, plus more. So if you guys participated in the OWL's Magical Readathon, please let me know how you did in the comments below. Did you read all the books you needed to clear owls? Did you do any extra credit? Did you read more books than you thought you would? And if not, that's okay. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I really hope you liked it, and I'll see you soon for a new one. Bye!